Three undeniable signs that both of you desire this connection and your souls already recognize the truth. When attraction moves beyond shallow conversation, something remarkable unfolds beneath the noise of everyday existence. Certain feelings slip past spoken language entirely. Specific individuals generate magnetic energy around themselves without making spoken confessions. When twin flames silently acknowledge one another, the outer world stays unaware, yet internally, everything transforms. The recognition travels through every heartbeat. The awareness fills each quiet pause. The knowing settles into thoughts, breathing rhythms, and lingering glances exchanged between you both. This message is for the person questioning their reality right now, the one asking, does this emotion move in both directions? Does their heart reflect mine? Have I created fantasy from scattered pieces? Absolutely not. Your intuition holds real substance. Something rare and meaningful is present. Powerful indicators appear when two people long for one another deeply, intensely, and silently, even when obstacles such as circumstance, hesitation, distance, or ego prevent verbal confirmation. Let us go deeper. Here are three unmistakable signals proving you both want each other, and awareness confirms it mutually. Signal 1. Their presence lingers in your awareness regardless of physical distance. When twin souls crave connection, proximity becomes irrelevant to the strength of the bond. This extends beyond digital messages or physical closeness. Your mornings begin with their image in your mind. Your nights settle with their memory. During ordinary routines, their essence unexpectedly rises into your thoughts without effort. The striking reality is that they experience similar sensations. This is because an unseen energetic pull exists. Both of you sense each other's emotional states. Their sadness feels like pressure in your chest. Their joy appears as warmth spreading through your body without explanation. You may suddenly think of them and moments later receive a message or discover they were thinking of you at the exact same time. This is not coincidence. It is energetic alignment. The connection moves beneath logic, beneath deliberate action. Silence does not weaken it. Time does not dissolve it. Distance does not interrupt it. Instead, separation intensifies awareness. You feel watched over in a gentle way, as if invisible threads keep both of you connected. Even when pride interferes, even when conversation stops, the awareness remains steady. You cannot forget them for long, and they cannot forget you either. This persistent mental presence is not obsession, it is resonance. It is the subtle signal that two hearts are tuned to the same frequency. Signal 2. The emotional tension between you feels undeniable and charged. When you stand near each other, the air seems heavier, almost electric. Conversations may appear casual on the surface, yet beneath the words runs a current neither of you fully names. Eye contact lasts a second longer than necessary. Silence feels intimate instead of awkward. Small gestures carry amplified meaning. A brush of hands, a shared laugh, or a moment of vulnerability lingers far beyond its duration. Both of you sense the pull, yet caution may keep it unspoken. You might notice mirroring behaviors, similar phrases, synchronized movements. Your bodies subtly align. Your breathing patterns shift in harmony. Even disagreements carry intensity because indifference is absent. You care too much to remain neutral. This emotional charge can feel overwhelming, especially when circumstances complicate expression. However, the tension itself is evidence. When attraction is one-sided, the energy feels flat. When it is mutual, it vibrates. Others may notice the chemistry without understanding its depth. You attempt to act normal, yet something in the atmosphere gives it away. The connection feels alive, almost conscious, guiding interactions in subtle ways. That unmistakable charge is the second sign that desire flows both directions. Signal 3. Growth and fear rise simultaneously within you both. Authentic connections do not simply comfort, they awaken. This person challenges you without trying. They inspire reflection, courage, and sometimes discomfort. You may feel exposed around them, as if they see beyond your masks. Surprisingly, they appear equally affected. Their confidence wavers in your presence. Their usual composure shifts. Both of you sense that this bond could change your lives, and that awareness creates hesitation. Fear of loss, fear of vulnerability, fear of intensity may cause retreat. Yet even in distance, the connection persists. You both evolve because of it. You reconsider patterns. You confront insecurities. You imagine possibilities you once dismissed. This simultaneous expansion and fear signals depth. Superficial attraction does not provoke transformation. Only meaningful resonance does. When two individuals secretly desire each other, they also sense the responsibility of that desire. It carries weight. It demands honesty. And though words may lag behind feelings, the truth continues to echo within both hearts. If these signs feel familiar, trust what you already know. Mutual desire does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers steadily, patiently, waiting for courage to meet it halfway. Their unease shows itself as a faint inner disturbance within you. Whenever they dwell deeply on thoughts of you, it feels like a gentle tug at your core. The feeling is subtle, yet unmistakable, like an invisible string drawing two distant souls closer. This does not happen with random acquaintances or fleeting encounters. It surfaces only with the one whose spirit feels closely intertwined with yours. Their presence appears everywhere, not by accident but through a strange, almost magical alignment. Music begins to carry reminders of them unexpectedly, and ordinary lyrics suddenly seem personal. Even strangers who slightly resemble them catch your attention right away. That is signal one. Small signs of nervousness begin to surface. They appear calm and composed around everyone else, steady and controlled, but your presence unsettles that balance. Hands move to adjust clothing that does not need adjusting. Fingers brush across their face absent-mindedly. Breathing patterns shift ever so slightly. A shy smile flickers without permission. The pace of their speech changes unpredictably, sometimes rushing, sometimes slowing. You mirror these behaviors unconsciously. Your body reacts before logic can intervene. This is how physical forms respond to an energy they instinctively recognize as meaningful. Both of you actively attempt to restrain visible emotion. You tell yourself not to text them first. You rehearse indifference. You pretend patience. Yet trying to appear unaffected only strengthens the bond. Silence becomes louder. Each notification sparks anticipation, and every shared space feels charged, as if the air itself notices. Near each other, conversations with others fade. Attention sharpens, time stretches. Subtle movements, the faintest expressions, register instinctively. Attempts to distract or rationalize fail. The undercurrent persists. Signal 3 emerges in timing that feels orchestrated. You think of them, they reach out, you sense their mood, and they confirm it. Encounters feel destined. Around them you feel exposed yet inspired. They mirror dormant parts of you, prompting growth. Distance cannot sever the thread. This connection does not demand dramatic declarations to validate its existence. It reveals itself in quiet persistence, in mirrored emotions, in restless anticipation. It lives in the space between words, in the subtle synchronization of thoughts, in the gentle tug at your core when they reach for you mentally. These signals are not illusions crafted by hope. They are reflections of two energies responding to one another across distance and doubt. And despite every attempt to disguise it, despite every careful effort to remain composed, the truth continues surfacing. The body reacts. The mind returns. The heart recognizes. No matter how carefully you attempt to suppress it, the connection finds subtle ways to announce itself. That is the nature of something real. They feel the urge to message you, and you feel the need to express affection. They wish to admit how deeply they care, yet both of you choose silence, not because feelings are absent, but because the emotions are overwhelmingly intense. You both observe the smallest details about one another. Their tone of voice is instantly recognized, and you immediately sense when something feels off. It happens without effort. Interpreting subtext becomes natural. Noticing the slightest pause in their speech happens instinctively. You sense joy, anxiety, or disappointment without a single clear explanation. That is not ordinary. That is not simple friendship. That is emotional alignment that exists only when two hearts strongly long for each other. You try to create space, yet the pull remains. You convince yourself to move on, and they attempt to distract themselves, yet something constantly brings you back together. A song, a memory, a random thought, a sudden image, a fear of losing one another, a quiet longing for closeness. You push away, then drift back in. Distance appears, then longing returns. You act unaffected, yet beneath the surface, concern and tenderness rule everything. This is signal 2. The hidden affection that refuses to stay hidden. Signal 3 carries an undeniable sense of destiny between you. This third sign holds the greatest weight. It is not simple chemistry. It is not just physical desire. It is not fleeting infatuation. It feels like deep soul recognition, as if this person is meant to leave a lasting mark on your life. You cannot logically explain it. You cannot fully understand it. You simply know. Every conversation makes hours disappear. Minutes feel like seconds. Words flow effortlessly. Silence feels safe. There is no need to pretend. Authenticity emerges naturally, and they mirror that same openness. With them, you feel safe, not only physically, but emotionally. Your heart feels calm around their presence. You feel seen, understood, valued. It feels as though they grasp parts of you that no one else truly sees, and you offer that same understanding in return. Your energies speak beyond spoken language. Sometimes a single glance carries 1,000 emotions. Sometimes their eyes reveal you in the most beautiful way. This is not ordinary attraction. This is a soul-level connection. You imagine a future with them without even trying. They appear in your thoughts when you picture happiness. You quietly wonder what life would feel like together, not from fantasy, but from sincere desire. And they experience similar thoughts. Even if they never show it openly, you cross their mind during quiet moments, late at night before sleep, when life feels heavy, when they reflect on what lies ahead. Your name surfaces in their heart unexpectedly. Both of you sense it. Something feels incomplete between you, even across distance, scarce communication, complicated circumstances, or misaligned timing. There is a quiet knowing that the story continues, that something meaningful awaits, that fate has reserved space for both. This is signal 3, the spiritual pull resembling destiny, kismet, divine timing. When these signs resonate, when their name quickens your heartbeat and your soul stirs, listen closely. They want you just as much. Silence, composure, or concealment cannot hide it. Rehearsed indifference fails, longing persists. Every bodily reaction, the sudden alertness, racing pulse, the way focus shifts, reveals truth before words form. That is the body speaking truth. Observe also how you navigate shared spaces when they are present. Your awareness of their location becomes almost uncanny. You know when they enter a room without looking. You sense when they are near even before confirmation. Your peripheral vision remains attuned to their movements. Conversations with others continue, yet part of your attention remains fixed on them, tracking subtle shifts in posture, expression, energy. This heightened awareness is not voluntary. It is the result of deep attunement, the kind that develops only when someone matters at soul level. There is also the phenomenon of protective energy that emerges unexpectedly. When you learn they are struggling, something shifts inside you. You feel an urge to comfort, to support, to somehow lessen their burden even from a distance. You may never act on this impulse, yet the feeling itself is significant. It reveals that their well-being has become intertwined with your own emotional state. You carry concern for them quietly, privately, without announcement. And deep down, you sense they would do the same for you. Notice how jealousy surfaces in situations where it has no logical right to exist. You have no claim on them. No commitment has been established, no promises exchanged. Yet when you see them giving attention to someone else, something uncomfortable stirs within. You may rationalize it away, tell yourself it does not matter, insist you have no right to feel possessive. Still, the discomfort remains. It lingers. It colors your mood. It creates restlessness that is difficult to shake. This reaction, uncomfortable as it may be, is further confirmation that your feelings run deeper than casual interest. Consider also the dreams that arrive unbidden. They appear in your sleep with surprising frequency. The scenarios vary widely, sometimes romantic, sometimes mundane, sometimes strange and symbolic. Yet regardless of content, the emotional residue upon waking is always the same. A lingering warmth, a quiet ache, a sense that something significant is trying to communicate through the subconscious. These dreams are not random neural firings. They are your soul processing connection during the only hours when conscious resistance relaxes. There is a particular restlessness that accompanies this kind of mutual but unspoken desire. You find yourself checking your phone at odd hours. You scroll through old conversations, reading between lines, searching for hidden meaning in words already exchanged. You analyze timing, tone, frequency of contact. You wonder if they notice when you pull away. You wonder if they care. You wonder if absence affects them the way it affects you. This mental occupation with someone is not trivial. It is not shallow preoccupation. It is the mind attempting to make sense of something the heart already understands completely. The synchronization extends beyond thoughts and emotions into daily life in ways that feel almost orchestrated. You consider reaching out, and moments later they text first. You decide to create distance, and suddenly an unexpected encounter brings you together. You convince yourself they do not care, and then they do or say something that dismantles that belief entirely. These patterns repeat enough times that coincidence becomes an inadequate explanation. There is rhythm here. There is reciprocity. There is an invisible hand guiding circumstances toward continued connection. Notice how effortlessly you forgive them. When misunderstandings arise, communication falters, or disappointments occur, recovery is swift. Resentment does not linger as it might with others. You extend grace, assume positive intent, and offer understanding even when evidence suggests otherwise. This is not naive. It is your heart recognizing the connection's importance over temporary friction. They influence your choices subtly, shaping decisions both big and small. You imagine sharing experiences, even unseen by them. Vulnerability emerges uniquely with them. Masks drop, authenticity flows, emotions surface, and honesty deepens. Remarkably, they reciprocate, revealing themselves in return. Quiet, unspoken connection confirms significance without proof. Yet internally, they are unmistakable. They are the soul speaking directly to soul, bypassing all the limitations of physical distance and verbal language. There is also the strange phenomenon of time distortion in their presence. Hours together feel like minutes. Minutes apart feel like hours. The clock becomes unreliable, bending to the intensity of connection rather than objective measurement. When you are with them, fully present, fully engaged, time loses its usual structure. This is not poetic exaggeration. It is the neurological experience of deep engagement, of complete absorption, of being exactly where you are meant to be with exactly who you are meant to be with. Notice how their opinion matters in ways that others' opinions do not. You may receive praise from multiple sources and appreciate it moderately, yet one word of encouragement from them carries disproportionate weight. Similarly, their disappointment affects you more deeply than criticism from anyone else. This is not unhealthy dependency, it is the natural hierarchy of significance. Those we love deeply have greater access to our emotional experience because they occupy a more central place in our internal world. The physical symptoms of this connection deserve attention as well. When anticipation of seeing them builds, your body responds with increased energy, heightened alertness, perhaps even butterflies or mild nervousness. When separation extends too long, a subtle heaviness may settle in. When unexpected contact occurs, there is a rush, a lift, a sudden improvement in mood that nothing else seems to produce. These physical responses are not imagined. They are measurable, they are real, they are your system registering the presence or absence of someone essential. Consider also the protective instinct that arises regarding their memory. When others speak of them casually or critically, you feel a subtle urge to defend, to correct, to ensure they are seen accurately. You hold their reputation carefully, even when they are not present to witness your loyalty. This guardianship of their image, this quiet commitment to their honor, reveals that they have become part of your identity. Their dignity matters because they matter. Their name carries weight because your heart carries them. The creativity they inspire is another significant indicator. Perhaps you write more when they are on your mind. Perhaps you notice beauty more acutely. Perhaps music affects you differently. Colors appear brighter. Moments feel more vivid. This amplification of experience is not coincidence. Deep connection heightens all of life. It sharpens perception, deepens feeling, expands capacity for wonder. They have not simply entered your life. They have altered how you experience existence itself. Notice how effortlessly you remember their small details, their likes, stories, fears, and dreams, without trying. You recall things they mentioned months ago. Notice what aligns with their passions, and remember moments they may have forgotten sharing. This memory is instinctive, arising because they matter deeply. Silence with them feels comforting, not awkward. Being together without words strengthens connection. You envision them naturally in your future, in milestones, quiet days, and happiness, without forcing it. Their presence inspires courage, pushing you to face fears, embrace possibilities, and grow into someone worthy of the bond. This transformation is organic, born from love's quiet awakening. There is also the strange peace that comes from simply acknowledging the truth to yourself. In moments of complete honesty, when you stop pretending, stop minimizing, stop rationalizing, something settles inside. The internal conflict between what you feel and what you allow yourself to feel creates tension. Surrendering to the truth, accepting the depth of your own emotion, releases that tension. Even if nothing changes externally, something shifts internally. You stop fighting yourself. You stop denying what is undeniable, and in that surrender, clarity emerges. Notice that they have become your standard without you deciding it. Others are measured against them, consciously or unconsciously. Connections that might have satisfied before now feel insufficient. Interactions that once seemed meaningful now lack depth. This is not unfair comparison. It is simply the result of knowing what alignment feels like. Once you have experienced resonance, you cannot pretend that ordinary connection is enough. Your standards have been permanently elevated by knowing them. Consider the moments when you catch yourself smiling for no apparent reason, only to realize later that you were thinking of them. These spontaneous moments of joy arising effortlessly reveal the depth of your feelings. Happiness connected to them is instinctive, automatic, natural when their presence touches you. Missing them differs from ordinary loneliness. It is precise, a specific ache for their unique presence. You do not merely seek company, you seek them. They are singular, irreplaceable. When others doubt or question your bond, you quietly trust your own perception, recognizing what they cannot feel. This confidence is your soul affirming itself. Through cycles of closeness and distance, certainty and doubt, the connection endures. It bends but never breaks, proving its true substance. This one persists through significant strain. Consider how naturally you advocate for their happiness. You want good things for them regardless of whether those things involve you. You hope they find joy even if you are not the source. You wish them well even when distance feels painful. This selflessness is not typical of casual attraction. Casual attraction is possessive, conditional, focused on personal gratification. This is different. This cares about their well-being independent of personal benefit. That is love beginning to transcend ego. There is a particular kind of eye contact that deserves its own recognition, not just lingering glances, but moments when your eyes meet and something passes between you that cannot be named. In those seconds, words become irrelevant. Explanations become unnecessary. Something is communicated directly, soul to soul, without the clumsy interference of language. You both receive the message, you both understand, and then you both look away, carrying that silent communication forward into the rest of your day. The way their name affects you is worth noticing. Hearing it spoken by someone else creates an immediate shift in attention. Seeing it written on a screen produces a specific internal response. Even thinking it silently to yourself carries emotional weight. This is not superstition. It is conditioning, yes, but conditioning rooted in genuine significance. Their name has become emotionally charged because they have become emotionally central. It is a linguistic container for everything you feel. Notice how you remember them during significant moments. When something wonderful happens, you want to tell them. When something difficult occurs, you want their comfort. When something ordinary unfolds, you notice their absence from it. This desire to share experience, to include them in your inner life, reveals that they have become part of how you process existence. They are not separate from your experience. They are woven into it. There is also the phenomenon of recognizing them in others temporarily. A stranger with similar mannerisms catches your attention. A voice like theirs makes you look up automatically. A phrase they often use, heard from someone else, creates momentary disorientation. These moments of mistaken recognition, quickly corrected, still reveal how present they are in your awareness. Your mind is primed to see them because they are never far from your thoughts. Consider the way music has changed since they entered your life. Songs you have heard hundreds of times suddenly carry new meaning. Lyrics that never stood out now feel personal. Melodies that were merely pleasant now evoke specific emotions tied to them. This transformation of art through connection is common. When someone matters deeply, everything becomes a potential reminder, a potential symbol, a potential expression of feelings too complex for direct speech. The courage required to read these words and recognize yourself in them should not be underestimated. It is easier to dismiss, to doubt, to minimize. It is safer to stay in uncertainty than to acknowledge what is real. Yet here you are, still reading, still considering, still allowing the possibility that what you feel is not only real, but mutual. That willingness to entertain truth, even when truth is vulnerable, even when truth demands something of you, is itself significant. It is you choosing awareness over denial. It is you trusting yourself enough to receive confirmation, And so the question returns, not as doubt but as invitation. What will you do with what you now recognize? How will you honor a connection that exists, whether acknowledged or not? The answer is yours alone to determine. But know this, whatever you choose, whatever timing unfolds, whatever circumstances currently separate or complicate, the connection itself remains. It does not require your action to exist. It only requires your awareness to be fully experienced, and awareness, once awakened, cannot be unlearned. If this resonated with your experience, make sure to press that like button and allow psychology wisdom to lead you deeper into understanding the human heart. What is one sign you have felt with someone truly special? Share your story below and let your voice be heard.